The room was quiet, the kind of quiet that only existed on deep space stations during the artificial night cycle. Soft white lights glowed along the metal walls, dimmed low so the human inside could rest. The air hummed gently with life support systems, steady and reliable. Lieutenant Aaron Cole lay on his narrow bed, staring at the ceiling. Sleep refused to come. He had returned from the front lines 3 days ago, but his mind was still trapped in the war. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw fire, broken ships, and soldiers screaming over open comms. He had survived again, even though many better men and women had not. Aaron slowly turned his head and glanced at the digital clock on the wall, 2:17. He sighed and sat up, running a hand through his short, dark hair. The station was supposed to be safe. No alarms, no alerts, no enemy within 1,000 light years. Still, something felt wrong. That was when the door slid open. It did not hiss or beep. It simply opened, smooth and silent, as if it had always been unlocked. A figure stepped inside. She was tall, her movements calm and confident. She wore dark clothing that looked nothing like standard military uniforms. The door closed behind her on its own, sealing the room again. Aaron's heart slammed hard against his chest. His hand moved toward the side of the bed where his sidearm should have been. It was gone. His breath caught. The woman looked at him, her gaze steady and unafraid. Her eyes reflected the dim light in a strange way, almost like they were catching more than they should. She did not rush. She did not threaten. She simply stood there, studying him. Then she walked deeper into the room. She moved like she belonged there, not like an intruder, like an owner. Aaron swung his legs off the bed and stood up slowly, keeping his body tense and ready. Years of training took over. Even unarmed, he knew how to fight. "Who are you?" he demanded. His voice was low, controlled. "How did you get in here?" She stopped near the small desk, running her fingers lightly across its surface, as if curious. "You left the door locked," she said calmly. Her voice was smooth, almost musical. "But locks are suggestions, not barriers." Aaron narrowed his eyes.
"That doesn't answer my question." She turned to face him fully now. Up close, she looked human.
Too human. Her skin tone, her facial features, even the way she breathed. All familiar. And yet, something was off. Something subtle, like a shadow, that didn't quite match its owner. "My name," she said, "would mean nothing to you. Not yet."
"Then start with why you're in my room," Aaron replied. She smiled slightly.
"That is simple," she said. "I came to see if the stories were true." Aaron felt a chill crawl up his spine. What stories? She studied him in silence for a long moment, her eyes moving over his posture, his scars, the faint tremor in his hands that even he hadn't noticed. "About humans," she said. Aaron let out a short, humorless laugh. "You broke into a military station to study humans?" "You could have just turned on the news." "That would not be enough," she replied. "News does not show what happens when everything is taken away." She stepped closer. Aaron did not move back. "How did you get past station security?" he asked. "I walked," she said simply. "That's not possible." She tilted her head. "You use technology that shouts its presence. Ours prefers silence." That word struck him. Ours. Aaron's muscles tightened. "You're not human." She did not deny it. "No," she said, "but I am very familiar with your kind." The station lights flickered once. Aaron glanced toward the door, then back at her. "You realize," he said carefully, "that if I shout, this room will be filled with armed soldiers in seconds." She nodded. "Yes." "And you're still standing there?" "Yes." "Why?" Her gaze softened just a little. Because you won't shout, she said. Not yet. Aaron hated that she was right. Sit, she said, gesturing to the chair near the desk.
I don't take orders from strangers in my own room. I know, she replied. That is one of the reasons you were chosen.
Chosen for what?
She took the chair herself instead, crossing her legs slowly.
To be observed, she said. Aaron clenched his fists.
I'm not a test subject. No, she agreed. You are a survivor. The word echoed in his mind.
She leaned forward slightly. You were part of the defense of Outpost K-17, she said. Aaron's blood ran cold. That mission was classified. Your unit was outnumbered 6-1, she continued.
Enemy forces breached your shields within minutes. Command ordered a retreat.
Aaron's jaw tightened. But you stayed, she said.
You stayed long enough to evacuate over 300 civilians. You stayed even after your squad was gone.
Aaron swallowed. You were declared dead for 17 hours, she said softly. Yet you walked out of the ruins alone. Silence filled the room.
How do you know all this?
Aaron asked. Because many were watching, she said, and many were afraid. He stared at her.
Afraid of me? Of humans? She corrected.
Aaron shook his head. We're not monsters.
I know, she said. Monsters break when faced with loss. Humans do not. Her words stirred something deep inside him.
You feel pain, she continued.
You grieve.
You fear. And yet, when everything tells you to stop, you continue forward.
She leaned back. That is terrifying. Aaron exhaled slowly.
So, you, broke into my room to tell me aliens are scared of humans?
Yes, she said, and to see it for myself. He studied her face, searching for deception.
And?
He asked.
What do you see?
She looked at him for a long moment before answering. I see exhaustion, she said. I see guilt. I see someone who wonders why he is still alive. Her voice lowered, and I see someone who would stand up again if the galaxy burned. The station lights flickered again. Longer this time. Aaron frowned.
What's happening? She stood. My presence disrupts some of your systems, she said.
This visit cannot last long. Visit, he repeated. You make it sound polite. She almost smiled.
This was the polite version. Aaron felt a surge of anger. You don't get to walk into my life, into my room, and speak in riddles.
She met his gaze evenly. You are right, she said. But soon, others will not be so careful. His heart skipped.
What do you mean? There is a debate among the stars, she said. Some believe humans should be controlled before they grow stronger.
Others believe humans should be allies. She stepped closer, stopping just an arm's length away. And your kind will soon be forced to choose a side, she added. Aaron held her gaze.
What side are you on?
She hesitated for the first time. I have not decided, she said honestly. That is why I came. She reached into her pocket and placed a small object on the desk. It was smooth, dark, and faintly warm to the touch. When the time comes, she said, this will allow us to speak again. And if I refuse? Aaron asked. She smiled softly.
You won't, she said. Humans never turn away from the unknown. The door behind her slid open.
She paused at the threshold and looked back. Rest, Aaron Cole, she said.
The galaxy is already watching you.
Then she stepped out. The room fell silent once more. Aaron stood there, staring at the small object on the desk, his mind racing. For the first time since the war, he realized something important. Humanity was no longer alone, and whatever was coming next, humans would face it standing. The room felt smaller after she left. Lieutenant Aaron Cole stood still for a long time, his eyes locked on the closed door. The station lights returned to normal, steady and calm, as if nothing unusual had happened. No alarms sounded. No footsteps came running down the corridor. It was like she had never been there. Slowly, Aaron turned and looked at the small object resting on his desk. It was no larger than a coin, dark and smooth, with no buttons or markings. Yet he could feel a faint warmth coming from it, like it was alive in some quiet way. He reached out, then stopped. Years of training told him not to touch unknown alien technology. Years of survival told him something else. He picked it up. The warmth spread into his palm. Not hot, not painful, just present. The object reacted, glowing faintly for a second, then fading again. Aaron exhaled. "So it wasn't a dream," he muttered. He sat down heavily on the edge of the bed, rubbing his face. His heart was still beating too fast. His mind replayed every word she had said, every look, every movement. Aliens were watching humans, debating what to do with them. And she had chosen him. A soft beep broke the silence. But Aaron looked up as his wall terminal activated. A familiar face appeared on the screen. "Lieutenant Cole," Captain Reyes said. "You're awake late." Aaron straightened his posture automatically. "Yes, Captain." Reyes studied him closely. "You look like hell." "Thank you, sir." The captain almost smiled, then grew serious. "Security flagged a minor system fluctuation on your deck about 10 minutes ago. Did you notice anything unusual?" Aaron's grip tightened around the small object, which he quickly slipped into his pocket. "No, sir," he said carefully. "Just couldn't sleep." Reyes nodded slowly. "Station sensors didn't pick up any breach, but stay alert. After what you've been through, Command wants you protected." "Understood." The screen went dark. Aaron leaned back, staring at the ceiling again. Sleep was impossible now. He stood and paced the room, his boots quiet against the metal floor. His thoughts drifted back to Outpost K-17, to smoke and screams and the sound of collapsing walls. He remembered dragging wounded civilians through fire, remembered the moment he thought he would die. He remembered choosing to stand. At dawn cycle, the station woke fully. Crew moved through corridors, machines hummed louder, and life returned to normal. Aaron joined the flow, wearing his uniform, his expression calm. Inside, everything felt different. During morning briefing, the commanders discussed supply routes and border patrols. No mention of aliens beyond known enemies. No mention of visitors who walked through locked doors like ghosts. Aaron listened, silent, as always. After the meeting, he headed to the training deck. He needed movement. He needed focus. The gym was mostly empty. A few soldiers trained quietly, lost in their own routines. Aaron moved to a combat mat and began hand-to-hand drills. Alone. Punch. Block. Turn. Strike. His body remembered what his mind tried to forget. Sweat ran down his face as he pushed harder, faster, imagining threats that weren't there, or maybe were. A sudden pressure filled the room. Not sound, not light. Presence. Aaron froze mid-movement. The air felt heavier, like the moment before a storm. Then he heard her voice. "Your form is efficient," she said calmly. "But you favor your left side." Aaron spun around, dropping into a defensive stance. She stood near the entrance to the deck, exactly as calm as before. Same dark clothing, same confident posture. No one else reacted. Soldiers continued training, unaware. "You're cloaked," Aaron said through clenched teeth. "Yes," she replied. "To them, I am not here." "How did you get back in?" "I never truly left," she said. His jaw tightened. That's not comforting. She walked closer, watching him like a teacher watches a student. "You have not reported our meeting," she observed. "No," Aaron said. "Not yet." "Why?" He hesitated. "Because I don't know if I'm supposed to." She studied him. You fear your own command more than an unknown alien. He gave a short laugh. You don't know my command. She nodded once. Fair. She glanced around the room, her eyes briefly resting on the other soldiers.
These humans, she said, they train as if conflict is constant. It is, Aaron replied.
For us. She looked back at him. That is why the galaxy watches you. She raised her hand slightly. The space between them shimmered, and suddenly the sounds of the room faded. The other soldiers became distant, like images behind glass.
You did this? Aaron asked. Yes.
A localized field, she said. We can speak freely now. Aaron lowered his stance but did not relax.
You said there's a debate, he said. Control us or stand with us. Yes. And you haven't decided. No? Then why keep coming to me? She met his gaze directly.
Because you represent a pattern, she said. Not the strongest human, not the smartest, but one who endures. Aaron frowned. There are millions like me. Exactly, she said softly. She walked around him slowly. Many species collapse when faced with extinction-level threats, she continued.
They surrender. They adapt by becoming smaller, quieter.
Humans adapt by standing closer together, she said.
By fighting harder. Aaron felt something tighten in his chest. You think that makes us dangerous? Yes. You think that makes us worth controlling? Yes. He took a step forward. Then why not do it already? She did not move back. Because control creates resistance, she said. And humans are exceptional at resisting. Silence hung between them. Finally, she spoke again. There is something you should see. She touched the small device in his pocket without actually touching him. The world shifted. The training deck vanished. Aaron gasped as stars filled his vision. Massive shapes moved through space, fleets of alien ships, strange and powerful. Worlds burned. Others stood united, shields raised, fighting together. He saw humans among them, standing, bleeding, refusing to fall. You see possibilities, she said, her voice echoing. Some futures end in your destruction. Others end with humans reshaping the galaxy. The vision faded. They were back in the training deck. Aaron's hands shook. You're showing me this to scare me, he said. No, she replied. I am showing you this to understand you. He looked at her sharply. Understand what? What you will do when you learn the truth, she said. When humanity learns it is not prey, but a choice. The field dropped. Sound rushed back. The soldiers continued training, unaware. She stepped back. I must leave again, she said, but not for long. Aaron swallowed. What happens next? She paused. Soon, she said. Others will come. Not to observe, not to debate. To invade? He asked. Perhaps, she said. Perhaps to offer protection at a price. And us? She looked at him one last time. Humans will decide, she said. As you always do. She vanished, fading like smoke. Aaron stood alone, surrounded by unaware soldiers. He looked down at his hands, still trembling. For the first time, he understood the weight of survival. It was not just about living. It was about what came after. And somewhere among the stars, the galaxy was learning something important. Humans did not break. They waited. And when the time came, they stood. The days that followed felt heavier, as if the station itself sensed something coming. Lieutenant Aaron Cole went through his routine like always. He trained. He ate. He attended briefings. He followed orders. To everyone else, he looked the same. Quiet, reliable, unremarkable in the way soldiers often were. Inside, nothing was the same. Every corridor felt watched. Every reflection in polished metal made him pause. He no longer trusted silence, because silence was where she appeared. The small device stayed hidden against his chest, warm even through fabric. It never activated on its own, but Aaron felt its presence constantly, like a reminder he could not ignore. 3 nights after her second visit, the station alarms screamed. Red lights flooded the corridors. Metal doors slammed shut automatically. A calm artificial voice echoed through every deck. Alert. Unknown vessels detected. All personnel to combat stations. Ah. Aaron was already moving before the message finished. His boots struck the floor hard as he ran, heart pounding, not with fear, but with recognition. This was it. The briefing room filled fast. Officers shouted orders. Tactical screens flared to life, showing shapes appearing at the edge of sensor range. Not one ship, many. "They're not matching any known enemy profiles," an analyst said, fingers flying over controls. "Technology level is advanced." Very advanced. Captain Reyes stood at the center, calm but tense. "Intent? No weapons fire yet," the analyst replied. "They're holding position." Watching. Aaron felt the device grow warmer, as if responding. The main screen shifted. One of the alien ships moved forward alone. A signal pulsed from it, cutting cleanly through every frequency. "They're hailing us," someone said. The room went silent. Reyes looked around, then nodded. "Put it through." The air shimmered above the central projector. A figure appeared, tall, armored, its form clearly alien. Its voice echoed, deep and steady, translated instantly. "Humans," it said. "We come as representatives of the Accord of 17 systems." Murmurs spread through the room. "We have observed your species," the figure continued. "Your growth has been disruptive." Aaron clenched his jaw. "Some among us believe you are a threat that must be limited," the alien said. "Others believe you may be useful." Useful, the word burned. "We offer protection," the alien said. "Guidance, technology. In exchange, humanity will accept oversight." Reyes crossed his arms. Oversight meaning control. The alien did not deny it. Meaning survival. Aaron felt the weight of every vision she had shown him pressing down on his chest. "Human leadership will decide," the alien finished. "You have one standard cycle." The signal cut. The room erupted in noise. "They can't be serious. They're threatening us. We're not ready for this." Reyes raised his voice. "Enough. We will respond through proper channels." Until then, all forces remain on high alert.
The officers dispersed, but Aaron stayed behind, staring at the dark screen.
He did not need a cycle. He already knew what this was. Later, alone in his room, the air shifted again. She appeared near the window, looking out at the stars. "They have arrived sooner than expected," she said. Aaron did not turn.
"You knew this would happen?"
"Yes."
"And you let it."
She faced him.
"This was always a possible outcome. A possible outcome where we're given a choice that isn't really a choice," he said sharply.
She studied him. "You see clearly. Then help us," Aaron said. "Or admit you're no different from them." Her expression tightened slightly. "There are limits to what I can do," she said. "Interference carries consequences," he laughed bitterly. "Funny. We're about to lose our freedom and you're worried about consequences." She stepped closer. "Humanity is not helpless," she said, "but it must decide what kind of power it wishes to become." Aaron turned to face her fully.
"They're offering protection at a price we'll never get back. Yes. And if we refuse? Conflict," she said simply, "on a scale you are not yet prepared for. Silence stretched between them.
Aaron took a breath. Then why show me the futures? Why involve me at all? Because decisions are rarely made by councils alone, she replied. They are shaped by individuals who refuse to bend. He shook his head. I'm just a soldier. She looked at him intently. So were many who changed history. The device pulsed once, hot against his skin. Her eyes flicked to it. They are watching for weakness, she said.
For fear?
For division. And if they see it? Aaron asked. They will move, she answered. Decisively. Aaron straightened. Then maybe it's time they saw something else? Her gaze sharpened. What are you suggesting? He met her eyes. You said humans adapt by standing closer together, then let's show them that. The next day, Earth responded. Not with surrender, not with weapons, with unity. Human fleets from dozens of systems formed up openly, visible to every sensor. Civilian channels broadcast messages of defiance, not hate. Soldiers stood at their posts. Workers refused panic. Leaders spoke plainly. We will not be owned, the message said, but we are willing to stand beside those who stand with us. The Accord ships did not move. They waited. On the third day, something changed. Another presence arrived. More ships. But these were different. Sleeker, silent.
The one she belonged to. The air in the command center felt electric as sensors struggled to track them.
Reyes looked at Aaron sharply. You feel that? Yes, sir, Aaron said. The alien woman appeared beside him, visible now to everyone. Gasps filled the room.
I apologize for the intrusion, she said calmly. But secrecy is no longer useful. Every weapon in the room trained on her.
She raised her hand slowly. I come as a voice, not a threat. The screens lit up as her species ships positioned themselves, not around Earth, but between Earth and the Accord. A shield. The Accord representative appeared again, its tone colder now. You overstep. She met its gaze without fear. We intervene. This was not agreed, the alien said. No, she replied, but it is decided. She turned slightly, gesturing toward the human commanders.
Humans will not be controlled, she said. They will be tested, as all rising powers are.
But they will choose their path. The room was silent. The Accord ship did not fire. Neither did anyone else. After a long moment, the alien spoke again. This changes nothing, she smiled faintly.
It changes everything. The signal ended. When she finally turned back to Aaron, her voice was softer.
This is only the beginning, she said. There will be consequences. He nodded. There always are. She studied him one last time. You have chosen your stance, she said. So have you, he replied. She inclined her head slightly. Yes. She vanished, leaving behind a room full of stunned humans. Aaron looked around at his fellow soldiers, at the leaders, at the screens filled with ships and stars. For the first time, humanity was not reacting. It was standing, and the galaxy had noticed. The galaxy did not explode into war the next day. That surprised everyone. Human command expected retaliation, sanctions, threats, something. Instead, there was silence. The Accord fleets remained in position, distant and unmoving. The silent ships of her people stayed between them and human space, like a calm wall. Silence, Aaron learned, was more frightening than gunfire. On Earth and across human colonies, the news spread fast. Not rumors this time. Truth. Alien observers. An offer of control. A refusal. Another alien power stepping forward. People reacted differently. Some were afraid. Some were angry. Some felt proud for the first time in generations. Aaron watched it all from the station, standing at the edge of something far bigger than himself. He was called into command briefing before dawn cycle. Captain Reyes stood at the head of the room, his face tired but sharp. Around him sat representatives from Earth Defense, colonial fleets, and civilian leadership. And standing slightly apart from them all, her. She was visible now, not hiding, not cloaked, calm as ever. "This is a closed briefing," Reyes said firmly. "What is said here does not leave this room." Aaron took his seat. A strategist began speaking.
"The accord is not withdrawn. Our analysts believe they're reassessing."
Testing reactions, looking for fractures. "Political pressure is rising," another added. "Some worlds want the protection offer reconsidered." Aaron felt his jaw tighten. Reyes turned to the alien woman. "Your people intervened. What happens next?" She folded her hands calmly. "Now comes the part most species fail." Silence followed. "Pressure," she continued. "Economic, psychological, diplomatic. The accord will not attack first, unless forced. They will try to make you choose fear." "And if that fails?" someone asked. "Then they will seek examples," she replied. "Small conflicts, proxies. They will look for a human world that breaks." The room grew colder.
Aaron spoke before he could stop himself. "Then they won't get one." Several heads turned toward him.
She looked at him carefully. "Confidence is good," she said. "But resolve must be shared." Reyes nodded. "She's right." One weak link could give them justification. A civilian leader sighed. "We've never been this united." That alone will attract pressure. The alien woman stepped forward slightly. "Which is why you must understand something now," she said. "This moment will define you for centuries." She looked around the room, meeting every gaze. "You are no longer an unknown variable," she said. "You are a rising one." After the briefing ended, Aaron found her waiting for him in a quiet observation corridor. Stars drifted slowly past the wide window. "You spoke boldly," she said. "Someone had to," Aaron replied. "People are scared." "Yes," she said. "Fear spreads quickly among those unused to being seen." He leaned against the railing. "You could have stayed hidden, watched us fail." "I could have," she agreed. "But you didn't?" "No. Why?" She looked out at the stars. "Because I believe your species deserves the chance to decide its own fate." He studied her profile. "And if we choose wrong, then you will live with it," she said simply. "As all species do." Days turned into weeks. Pressure came exactly as she predicted. Trade routes closed temporarily. Neutral systems denied docking rights to human ships. Media channels across the galaxy framed humans as unstable, emotional, dangerous. Some human worlds protested. Others tightened fences. None broke. Aaron was reassigned, not promoted, not punished, repositioned. He was sent to a border colony called Haven Reach. Small, civilian heavy, poorly defended. A test. As his transport descended toward the planet, Aaron watched the brown-green world grow larger beneath him. Cities glowed softly against the dark side. No fleets. "No shields. This place wouldn't last 5 minutes in a full assault," the pilot muttered. Aaron said nothing. On the ground, the tension was obvious. Civilians watched the sky. Local defense forces were stretched thin. Supplies were delayed. And then the accord arrived, not with warships, with envoys. A massive vessel settled into high orbit, visible to the naked eye. A broadcast followed, calm and measured.
"People of Haven Reach,"
The alien voice said, "your leaders have refused protection. We offer it now, directly to you. Panic rippled through the cities. Aaron stood among local officials as the message repeated. They're bypassing Central Command, someone whispered. They want us to fold, another said. Aaron stepped forward. They want us divided. A local governor looked at him. And what do you suggest, soldier? Aaron met her gaze. We answer together. A reply was sent. Short, clear. Haven Reach stands with humanity. Hours passed. No attack came. Instead, something worse. Supply ships bound for the colony turned away. Communications slowed. Navigation systems glitched. Power grids flickered. A siege without weapons. Civilians grew angry. Hungry. Afraid. Aaron walked the streets, speaking with people, helping where he could. He fixed generators. He carried food crates. He listened. At night, she appeared beside him on a quiet rooftop. This is where many break, she said. He looked down at the darkened city.
They're trying to starve us into obedience. Yes. And if it works? She did not answer right away.
Then the galaxy learns a lesson, she said finally, that humans can be pressured into submission. Aaron clenched his fists. Not here. The next morning, human ships arrived. Not warships, freighters, civilian vessels from nearby systems, escorted by volunteers running the blockade openly. The Accord ships moved closer. Human ships did not turn back. The standoff lasted hours. Then days. The Accord did not fire. They withdrew. Cheers erupted across Haven Reach. Aaron exhaled slowly, his legs shaking with relief. She stood beside him, watching the sky. They tested you, she said, and you did not fracture. He nodded. We adapted. Yes, she said. Faster than expected. But the test was not over. The next week, another world was pressured, then another. Each time, humans responded the same way. Together, the galaxy began to whisper. Human trade networks reorganized. Mutual aid spread. Colonies once distant from Earth spoke with one voice. The Accord grew impatient. A new message arrived, sharper this time.
You risk open conflict, the alien representative warned. Your defiance will have consequences. Aaron stood in command, watching the message end.
Reyes turned to him quietly. They're running out of patience. So are we, Aaron replied. That night, she came to him one last time before everything changed. You have crossed a threshold, she said. There is no quiet return from this. He met her gaze. We never wanted quiet. We wanted choice. She nodded slowly. Then prepare. For what? For the moment when standing together is no longer enough, she said. When you must act. His heart beat faster. War? Or something close to it, she replied. She stepped back, her form already beginning to fade. The Accord now understands something, she said. Humans do not bend easily. And you? He asked. What do you understand? She paused. That I was right to step forward, she said softly. She vanished. Aaron looked up at the stars, at the ships moving quietly into position. Humanity had been tested. It had not broken. Now the galaxy would test something else. What humans did next. The warning came without sound. No alarms. No flashing red lights. Across human space, sensors began reporting the same impossible reading. Space itself seemed to bend. Distances stretched. Signals arrived late, or not at all. Something massive was moving. Lieutenant Aaron Cole stood on the command deck of Haven Reach's defense station. watching data scroll across the main screen. Every instinct he had screamed the same message. This was the moment. Captain Reyes's voice came through the channel, steady but tight. All fleets report in. One by one, human ships answered, not just military vessels. Cargo haulers. Mining rigs. Old patrol ships that should have been retired years ago. Everything that could fly, flew. The Accord had stopped pretending. A vast formation emerged from distorted space beyond the system's edge. Ships larger than cities, weapons that bent light around them. Power readings that made human technology look small.
The Accord's final answer. They're not posturing anymore, an analyst said quietly. They're deploying.
Aaron felt the familiar calm settle over him.
Not peace.
Focus. They're expecting us to panic, he said. Reyes glanced at him. And we won't. A signal cut through the chaos, overriding every channel. The Accord representative appeared, larger than before, its voice cold and final. Humanity, it said.
Your defiance has reached its limit. Stand down.
Accept oversight. Or be corrected.
No threats, no anger.
Just certainty. Around the command deck, officers waited for Reyes to speak. He looked at Aaron. Aaron nodded once.
Reyes turned back to the screen.
Humanity does not accept chains, he said evenly.
We stand by our choice.
The alien's eyes narrowed slightly.
Then you choose extinction.
The signal cut. The first shots did not come from the Accord. They came from human space, not weapons fire. Broadcasts.
Human voices flooded every open channel, not speeches from leaders, but messages from people.
Miners, farmers, engineers, medics, soldiers. We're still here. We're not afraid. We stand together. The Accord fleets hesitated. For the first time, uncertainty rippled through their formation. Then, space shifted again. Per people arrived. Their ships moved like shadows, positioning themselves between the Accord and the human lines. Shields flared, vast and bright, forming a barrier that stretched across space. She appeared on the command deck beside Aaron, visible to all. "This is as far as I can go without war," she said quietly. Reyes turned to her. "And if they attack anyway? Then the galaxy changes forever," she replied. The Accord did not fire. Instead, smaller ships broke formation, moving toward the flanks, searching for weakness. "Here it comes," someone whispered. Aaron leaned forward.
They're probing.
"Looking for a crack?" Reyes nodded.
All units, hold formation, do not pursue. The probes advanced, weapons charging.
Human ships did not scatter. They tightened. Older vessels moved forward to shield newer ones. Damaged ships took positions they should not have survived in. Civilian ships stayed in line, engines straining. The first exchange of fire lit the stars. Accord weapons struck the shields of her people's ships, testing, measuring. The shields held, but barely. "They're gauging response time," Aaron said. "They think we'll wait for permission." Reyes looked at him. "Would you?" Aaron shook his head. "No." Reyes didn't hesitate.
All human ships. Defensive action authorized. Human weapons fired.
They were weaker, slower, cruder. But there were many, and they were coordinated. Human targeting systems adapted in real time, sharing data instantly. Missiles adjusted mid-flight. Rail rounds corrected course using feedback from ships that had already been destroyed. Destroyed, but not wasted. Accord probes began to fall. The Accord fleet shifted, surprised. They didn't expect this level of adaptation, an analyst said. Aaron felt the device against his chest grow hot. The air beside him shimmered. She stiffened slightly.
What is it? He asked. They are recalculating, she said. This is the danger point.
A massive Accord ship powered its main weapon. Space around it twisted violently.
That shot will break our line, Reyes said quietly. Human shields could not stop it.
Our people's shields would fail. Silence fell. Then a human freighter moved forward. Old, scarred, barely armed, it placed itself directly in the weapon's path. Another followed. Then another. "What are they doing?" someone shouted.
They're civilians!
Another cried. Aaron's voice was steady.
They're buying time. The Accord weapon fired. Light consumed space.
The freighters vanished, but the beam weakened. The line held. A low sound echoed through the command deck. Not fear. Ah. Their formation wavered. She stared at the screen, something like disbelief crossing her face. They chose sacrifice without command, she said softly. That's us, Aaron replied. We don't wait to be told when it matters. The device pulsed sharply. Her eyes widened. What? Aaron asked. She turned to him slowly. The observation councils. They're watching this live. And they're divided, she said, as they have never been before. The Accord representative appeared again, its voice no longer calm.
You are irrational, it said. This level of loss is unnecessary. Reyes stepped forward. You don't understand us. No, the alien replied. We do not.
Aaron moved beside Reyes. Then learn, he said. Human ships advanced, not recklessly. Together, every loss tightened the formation. Every failure fed new data into the network. Human technology evolved minute by minute, pushed by necessity. The Accord fleet began to retreat, slowly, reluctantly. Disbelief rippled through their ranks. This is not a victory condition, the alien representative said, voice strained.
You cannot win. Aaron looked at the screen. We don't need to. The Accord ships pulled back beyond effective range.
Weapons powered down. The battlefield fell silent. Stars drifted calmly once more. After a long moment, a final message arrived. Humanity, the Accord said. This engagement will be recorded as inconclusive. She let out a slow breath. That is their way of admitting failure, she said. Cheers erupted across the command deck, across human space. Not wild celebration. Relief. Reyes turned to Aaron. You realize what this means? Aaron nodded. They won't try to own us again. No, she said quietly. They won't. She stepped closer to Aaron, her expression different now. Not evaluating. Respecting. You have changed the trajectory of your species, she said. Not by strength alone, but by choice. He met her gaze.
What happens now? She looked toward the stars.
Now the galaxy adapts to you. And you?
He asked. A faint smile touched her lips. My people will stand openly with yours, she said. Not as watchers, as equals. She extended her hand, not in command, not in ownership. In acknowledgement. Aaron took it. Her hand was warm, solid, human. When she vanished this time, it did not feel like absence. It felt like arrival. Weeks later, the galaxy adjusted. Trade reopened. Borders softened. New treaties formed, not built on fear, but caution and respect. Humans were no longer underestimated. Aaron stood on a quiet platform overlooking Haven Reach, watching ships come and go. Life continued. Scarred, but stronger. Captain Reyes joined him.
They're calling it the Stand,
he said. Aaron nodded.
It fits.
Reyes studied him.
You could have run! Stayed silent!
So could we all, Aaron replied. Reyes smiled faintly.
The galaxy's going to remember this.
Aaron looked at the stars. Humans were not the strongest.
Not the fastest, not the most advanced, but when the moment came, they stood. And the universe learned something important. Humanity was not something to be controlled. It was something to stand beside.